Evan Hale stepped across the shimmering ritual boundary etched in luminous crystal on the palace floor. The vast court of Regent Queen Varaxia fell utterly silent. Hundreds of alien nobles froze mid-gesture, their iridescent scales catching the light from hovering crystal orbs. Attendants in flowing robes halted their chants. Even the air seemed to thicken, heavy with the scent of spiced incense and polished stone. Evan ignored it all. He reached for Princess Sayali's slender hand, hovering just beyond the line that marked her as untouchable. Her fingers trembled as he clasped them, cool, smooth, like polished jade veined with faint blue glow. She gasped, a soft hiss through her fanged mouth. Her wide, golden eyes locked on his. "Evan," she whispered in the trade-tongue voice barely audible. "You must not." He squeezed her hand. Firm. Reassuring. "I must."
Murmurs erupted from the sidelines. Chamberlain Othahun's voice cut through first, sharp as a blade.
"Human! Retract!" The Untouchable's sanctity. Evan pulled Sayali forward, one step. Her ceremonial gown of silver threads whispered against the floor. The court recoiled as one, nobles pressing back against obsidian pillars. Two attendants lunged from the shadows, their clawed hands clamping Sayali's shoulders. They yanked her toward the isolation alcove, a shadowed recess ringed by force fields that hummed faintly. Sayali stumbled, her free hand flailing. Pain flashed in her eyes, years of enforced solitude cracking through her trained poise. Evan moved without thought. He stepped fully into the forbidden zone, wrapped his arm around her waist, and pulled her against him. Her body tensed, scales rippling under his palm. The attendants froze, claws hovering inches from her arms. Evan tilted her chin up, met her gaze, then he kissed her. Soft at first, her lips parted in shock, cool and tasting faintly of sweet nectar from the palace fruits she was allowed. He deepened it, one hand cradling her neck, the other steady on her back. The court exploded into chaos. Shouts ricocheted off vaulted ceilings. Nobles surged forward, then halted at the edge of the boundary. Othahun barked orders, his face twisting in outrage, mandibles clicking furiously. Sayali melted into him. Her claws dug lightly into his shoulders, not to push away, but to hold on. A low vibration hummed from her throat, like a purr. Evan broke the kiss, gazed down at her. "You're not alone anymore."
Captain Rel Tovan's voice boomed over the din. "Guards!"
"Seize the human. Form containment ring. Now." Armored figures snapped into motion. Palace security, their exosuits gleaming under the orbs, fanned out in precise formation. Bladed poles extended from their gauntlets, tips humming with stun fields. They encircled Evan and Sayali, 10 paces back, closing the loop with mechanical efficiency. His free hand hovered near his belt. Diplomat's toolkit, not a weapon, but he'd engineered worse from scraps. Heart steady. He scanned the ring. 12 guards, gaps at the pillars. Rel stood at the fore, visor down, posture rigid. "Stand down, Captain," a new voice commanded. Deep, unyielding. Regent Queen Varaxia rose from her throne of coiled thorn tree. Her crown of fused crystals pulsed with inner light. The court parted like water as she descended the dais, robes trailing like liquid shadow. Guards hesitated, poles dipping. Rel snapped a salute. "My queen, this violation." Silence. Varaxia halted 5 paces from the ring.
Her multifaceted eyes fixed on Evan.
"Explain this," gesture, "before I permit the containment." Evan straightened, kept hold of Sayali's hand. She pressed close, her breath quick against his neck. "It's simple, Your Majesty. She's been isolated her whole life. Forbidden touch, no friends, no comfort. Humans don't do that. We hold hands to show trust. We kiss to show we care." Othahun spluttered from the sidelines. "Blasphemy. The Untouchable bears the echo contagion of the old curse. Touch spreads madness, weakens bloodlines." Varaxia's gaze shifted to Sayali. The princess lifted her chin, but her claws tightened on Evan's sleeve. "Madness?" Evan said. "She's lonely. That's all. I've spoken with her in secret, through vents, signals. She's sharp. Deserves better than a cage." Gasps rippled through the court. Rel's visor tilted fractionally, curiosity cracking discipline. Varaxia stepped closer. Guards shifted uneasily. "You risk execution for this care? Defy our purity laws?" Evan met her eyes. No bluff. "Laws that hurt people aren't laws. They're chains. Fix the problem, don't hide it." Sayali spoke up, voice steady now. "He speaks truth, Mother. His touch burns away the cold. No madness, only warmth." Varaxia's scales flushed deeper violet, a rare tell. She signaled Rel. Disperse the ring. Escort the princess to my chambers. Gently. Guards retracted poles. Attendants bowed low, guiding Saili away. She glanced back at Evan, eyes shining. A faint smile curved her lips. Ohum protested. Regent Queen, factions will riot. The purity rights will adapt. Varaxia turned to Evan. You've breached sanctity. Yet intrigued the court. Chamberlain, prepare writ of inquiry. Captain Rel, vet the human's claims. Test for contagion. Rel nodded crisply. At once. Evan exhaled. First hurdle cleared. But Othun's glare promised knives in the dark. Varaxia leaned in, voice low. Envoy Hale. Your species touches the forbidden without fear. Explain why. He shrugged. Because we're human. We see a person hurting. We help. Simple. Her eyes narrowed. Calculated. Simple may upend my throne. Or save it. She swept away, court trailing in stunned whispers. Rel's guards herded Evan toward a side chamber. Not arrest, but watch. Sally's hand lingered in memory. Cool jade, now warm. Outside the alcove doors, Othuhun cornered Rel. Evan strained to hear feigning compliance. The human poisons her, Othun hissed. Use this. Rally the purists. Rel paused. Or test it. Procedure demands verification. Evan smirked inwardly. Cracks forming. Deeper in the palace, alarms wouldn't sound yet. But Evan knew. One kiss had ignited a war, and a bridge. He followed the guards. Toolkit humming faintly. Ready to build more. Varaxia's throne room echoed with fading footsteps. She paused at the dais, summoning a holographic display. Scans of Saeli's vitals flickered, stable. No echo spike, Captain, she commented Rel. Prioritize, if the human's care holds. Succession changes. Understood. He bypassed our fields like they were paper. Evan marched to holding, caught Saeli's scent on his sleeve. Nectar and scales. Forbidden no more. The court buzzed, nobles clustered, scales aglow with gossip. The human touched her. Lived, one whispered. What if the untouchable isn't? Rel entered, visor up. Your gesture, repeated on me. For science.
Stud.
Rel hesitated, claws flexed. Then gripped. Nothing happened. Rel's eyes widened. Awe flickered. No burn, no madness. Evan grinned. Told you. People are people. Word spread. Factions fractured. Varaxia watched feeds. Othuhum plotted. Saya Varaxia's claws clicked against the arm of her throne. Envoy Hale, you kissed the untouchable. Swear the oath right. Truth, or perish. Evan stood rigid in the chamber's center. Sealed doors hummed behind him. Oath right fields shimmering blue across his skin. They itched like static. He met her gaze. Golden slits in iridescent scales. No flinch. I swear. By your protocols. Truth only. A sharp tang filled his mouth, like biting foil. Oathright serum, injected via air. Aliens winced under it. Evan breathed steady. Practical fix. Swallow slow. Varaxia leaned forward. Her crown of crystal spines glinted. You touched Princess Saili, lips to scales. Her nectar on your flesh. Explain. Chamberlain Othun flanked her, robes stiff with purity seals. His eyes narrowed. Sacrilege. The untouchable poisons all. Madness. Echo spikes. Death. Evan kept his voice level. I asked consent. Just 'cause I am in a Jove, with care for sour sound. No harm. Gasps echoed from holographic observers, nobles' faces flickering on walls. Ohun's tail lashed. Lies. Human filth bypasses fields, taints her line. Varaxia raised a claw. Silence fell. Proof, envoy. Or execution. Evan nodded to the toolkit at his belt, still humming. Unconfiscated. Rel's doing. Me and her. Side by side. Vitals live. Prove contact safe. Othun hissed. Contamination charge already filed. Public judgment. A new hologram bloomed. Princess Saili's face filled it. Pale lavender scales. Eyes like storm clouds. Her voice cut crystal clear. Scan us both. The chamber froze. Varaxia's spines bristled. Even she couldn't counter direct invocation. Princess, you risk stability demands truth, Regent Queen. Saili's gaze locked on Evan. Soft, hidden fire. I accepted. Medbot's word from ceiling vents. Sleek orbs, Varan tech, precise as scalpels. One latched Evan's arm. Needles pricked, data streamed to central holos.
Evan felt the pull.
Blood sample. Neural map. No anomalies. Sayeli entered in person, flanked by Rel. Her gown whispered, veils parting just enough. She extended her arm without hesitation. Bot latched. Scans synced. O home pas. This defies purity edicts. Her essence. Vodexia watched feeds. Vitals overlaid. Evan's baseline human robust. Sayele's. Elevated nectar, but stable. No echo spike. No cascade. Rel crossed arms, visor reflecting data. Fields bypassed. Contact verified clean. Evan caught Sayeli's glance. Her claws flexed, subtle thanks. He nodded back. Varaxia drummed claws. Scans confirm, no poison. Othuan bowed low, venom in his tone. Formal charge stands, contamination petitioned for public right. Factions demand judgment. Sayeli stepped closer to Evan.
Veils brushed his sleeve.
Privilege upholds. The chamber erupted in murmurs. Hollow noble scales flushed, shock, awe. One whispered loud. The untouchable touched back. Evan stayed put. Goal met. Proof planted. But Othun's eyes promised war. Varaxia rose. Adjourned. Envoy remain under watch. Princess, Sayeli cut in. He stays with me. Protection detail. Rel's comm beeped. He nodded. Affirmed.
Human protocols integrate. Guards shifted.
Evan followed Sayeli out, her scent lingering. Nectar sweet. No field zapped him now. In her antechamber, doors sealed. Sayeli dropped veils. Scales gleamed soft. You risked all. Why? Evan set toolkit down. Scanned room, echo dampeners, surveillance blind spots. People deserve touch. Consent's basic. She tilted head. Claws traced his hand. Light, testing. No burn. Her eyes widened.
Varan fear my nectar, burns minds.
Yours endures. Warmth spread. Human adaptability. We solve problems. Together.
A soft trill escaped her, laughter.
Rare. Court calls it madness. Footsteps outside. Rel Kamed. Othuan rallies purists. Sayeli straightened. Varaxia wavers. Succession ties to my isolation. Your act. Fractures it. Evan checked scans on his wristpad. Linked to PalaceNet now. Show them more. Handshakes. Like with Rel.
She paused, then clasped his hand fully.
Sparks. No. Warmth. Alarms pinged low. Othuan's voice boomed palace-wide. Contamination confirmed. Human taint spreads. Public right, now. Sayeli's grip tightened. He comes with me.
Evan at her side. Toolkit ready.
Deeper corridors thrummed. Nobles gathered in Grand Hall. Scales aglow, factions split. Purists chanted purity. Reformers watched silent. Varaxia took dies. Othun presented petition. Holo scroll unrolling edicts.
Untouchable defiled! Execute the human!
Crowd roared. Evan stood firm, Sayeli beside him. Rel at flank. Varaxia scanned crowd. Scans prove no harm. Othuan thrust claw. Tradition. Her line poisons. Sayeli stepped forward. I am no poison. She turned to Evan. Public, bold. Offered hand. Evan took it. Held, nothing. Crowd scales dimmed. Shock rippling. One noble touched another's arm. No fields blocked. Rel grinned under visor. Procedure evolves. Othun snarled. Blasphemy. Varaxia silenced him with a look. Stability first. Envoy. Speak. Evan faced them.
Simple. Test it yourselves.
Consent. Proof. A reformer noble approached. Hesitant claw extended. Evan gripped. Firm. No madness. Whispers turned cheers. Factions cracked wider. Sayeli leaned close. Voice for him. You build bridges. Othum stormed off. Comms flared. His network activating. Varaxia signaled Rel. Secure them. Judgment delayed. But Evan smelled it. Plot thickening. Othun's leverage. She poured nectar tea. Human safe brew. Varaxia chooses soon. Tradition or us. Tungdi, invigorating. She picks stability. We prove it works. Her tail brushed his leg. Intentional. Heat rose. You see me. Not untouchable.
He set cup down, drew her close.
Lips met scales, consent given. Deeper this time. No poison. Only fire. Rel's voice crackled. Perimeter breach. Othuhu's purists.
Evan grabbed toolkit. Time to collaborate.
Xylee armed herself, claws sheathed in crystal. Together.
They charged out. Bridge holding.
War ignited. Varaxia watched private feed. Claws steepled. Human changes all. Succession shifted. She commits Rel, protect the bridge. Athum's shadow loomed in sublevels. If purity falls, burn it. Captain Rel Tovan shoved Evan Hale through the decontamination arch into the sterile wing. Saeli followed, her scales shimmering under the harsh UV lights. Rel's armored claw punched the lockdown sequence. Corridors sealed with a series of thunderous clangs. Stay put, envoy. Princess. Rel's visor gleamed. Regent Queen's orders. Othuhun's purists breached sublevels. Judgment waits. Evan scanned the bare chamber. White walls, air recyclers humming, no furnishings beyond a central console. Saeli's tail flicked, coiling tight. She met his eyes, calm but claws flexed. Rel lingered at the hatch. You two sparked this. Hold the bridge. I'll handle the fire. The hatch irised shut. Locks engaged. Evan turned to Saeli. First things first. We're stuck. Might as well make it useful. She tilted her head, frills flaring slightly.
Useful how?
They fear us touching. Exactly. Evan stepped closer. Careful. No sudden moves. He extended his hand, palm up. Human greeting. No dominance. Try it. Saeli hesitated. Her culture's touches carried rank, threat, hierarchy. Untouchables like her? Forbidden entirely. But Evan's eyes held steady. Practical. She extended a claw-tipped finger, hovering. Palm to palm, he said. Light pressure. Smile if it feels right. Her pad met his skin.
Warm. No field shimmered between them.
No agony. She pressed firmer. A human handshake. Simple. Direct. Her frills relaxed. No submission, she whispered. No conquest. Just connection.
Evan grinned.
Bridge basics. Now we build on it. Saeli withdrew, but lingered close. Heat radiated from her scales. Varaxia watches. Othuhun twists this into scandal. My status. Tell me. Evan pulled a stool from the wall recess, standard palace kit. He sat, gesturing her down. Goal. Understand the stakes. Untouchable law. What's the core? She perched opposite, tail curling around the stool's base.
Not curse.
Her voice dropped, precise. My lineage carries the veil. Genetic marker for succession. Touch corrupts it. Law says any contact voids legitimacy. Heirs must prove purity fields intact. I endure isolation to validate the line.
Evan leaned forward. So you're the living lock on the throne.
Othuhun enforces it to control Varaxia. Saeli nodded. Claws traced the console edge. He pushes purists. If I'm tainted by human touch, no fields, no madness, but law declares it blasphemy, succession crumbles. Conflict hit Evan like a diagnostics ping. Tradition wasn't superstition, it was engineered stability.
His touch.
A wrench in the gears. We fixed this. Protocol time. He activated the console. PalaceNet required dual auth, hers granted access. Saeli synced her implant. Evan drafted fast. Baseline scans, field tolerances, human-alien biometrics, contact-safe rules, graduated exposure.
Medical oversight?
Consent logs. Her eyes widened as code scrolled. You engineer solutions like breath, problems to solve, people to connect. He hit transmit to Palace Medical Command, ping Rel 2.
He's procedure guy.
Console chimed. Response flooded in. Medical chief querying data. Rel's voice overlaid, envoy. Bold. Standing by. Saeli's tail brushed his knee. Intentional now. They'll test? Watch. Evan Cross referenced their earlier hull grip. No anomalies.
Proof. Incoming. Muffled shouts echoed through vents. Bethune purists.
Rel's comm crackled.
Holding perimeter. Othuhun demands audience. Claims pollution. Captain. Protocol drafting. Medicals running sims. By time. Regent Queen en route. Rel's tone sharpened. Princess, status, Sai-Li leaned to the mic. Stable. Human method works. No corruption. Silence. Then, evolving. Console pinged approval. Medical stamped preliminary protocol. Viable. Recommend trial under observation. Sai-Li's laugh bubbled. Rare. Light. She stood, pulling him up. Teach more. He obliged. Shoulder clasp next. Neutral, supportive. Her scales yielded under his palm. Warmth spread. No fields needed. She mirrored, claw gentle on his arm. Trust built-in touches. Door hissed. Rel entered, flanked by 2 guards. Visor up, grinning. Chief cleared it. Regent Queen summons, but Athuun's rallying subcourts. Sai-Li straightened. We go. Protocol in hand. Evan grabbed his toolkit, slung it over shoulder. Together, they marched corridors, Rel clearing paths. Nobles peeked from alcoves, whispers chasing. One reformer bowed, palm out.
Evan matched it, ripple spread.
Throne chamber loomed. Varaxia perched on her dais, claws steepled. Athuun stood rigid beside faction heads arrayed. Tension crackled. Envoy. Princess. Varaxia's voice cut silk sharp. You defy lockdown.
Evan stepped forward, Sai-Li at side. Protocol projected on central hollows.
We collaborate, Regent Queen. Untouchable law? Not curse. Control mechanism. Here's the bridge. Athuun snarled.
Blasphemy. Her touch voids the veil. Sai-Li raised her hand. Evan's handshake grip demonstrated on air.
No void. Proof scans attached. Medical approves. Varaxia's eyes flicked to hollows.
Data scrolled clean. She signaled Rel. Test. Chamberlain. You and the Reformer Lord.
Athuun recoiled.
Touch profane? Or yield? Varaxia's tail lashed. Stability demands proof. Reformer extended claw. Athuun froze. Factions watched. He gripped, brief, trembling. No collapse. Awe flickered in purest eyes. Cheers erupted. Athuun wrenched free, stormed toward exit. This fractures purity, Varaxia rose. It forges strength. Protocol integrates. Envoy Princess, stand with court. Sai-Li's tail twined Evan's leg under robes, hidden promise. Evan nodded. Bridge holds. But Athuun paused at archway. Comms implant glowed. Sublevels ignite. Purists rise. Rel drew blade. Containment. Evan smelled trap. Toolkit hummed, ready. Sai-Li's claws gleamed. Varaxia's gaze locked his. Human. Choose tradition's pyre or our evolution. He gripped Sai-Li's hand. Public now. Protocol. Live.
Evolution.
Alarms wailed. Shadows stirred beyond.
Athuun's final play. Athuun slammed his claw on the podium.
Contamination hearing. Convene the priesthood. Now, Evan straightened beside Sai-Li. The throne room gallery packed tighter than before. Faction heads leaned forward. Purists hissed from shadowed tears. Varaxia's tail stilled on her throne. Rel gripped his blade hilt at the chamber's edge. 2 priests swept in, robes swirling incense. Their hoods hid eyes, but claws clutched purity orbs, glowing relics that scanned for veil breaches. Athuun pointed at Sai-Li. Untouchable. Human filth touched her. Witnesses. First priest raised his orb. It hummed over Sai-Li's hand, the one Evan had gripped publicly. Light flared red. Gasps rippled. Contagion vector. Human oils corrode sanctity. Evan's toolkit buzzed at his belt.
He stepped up. Not corrosion.
Test it properly. He unsealed a sample vial. Sterile human skin cells cultured from his own swab days ago. Controlled contact. Repeatable.
Athuun sneered. Reformer tricks. Science.
Evan dripped the sample onto a purity plate. The priest's orb scanned. Green. No reaction. He held up a second vial. Sai-Li's scale extract matched to her, mixed them drop by drop under holoprojectors. Gallery screens magnified. Cells bonded. No spike. No void. Priests recoiled. Second one stammered.
Impossible. Veil rejects all. Evan nodded to Sai-Li.
She extended her claw, steady, trained poise cracking just a fraction. He pressed his palm to it. Live feed zoomed, skin to scale. Orb scanned real-time.
Steady green. Awe rippled through reformers.
Purists shifted uneasily. Varaxia's voice sliced. Proof holds, but words fracture. Replicate live. Captain Rel, chain of custody. You oversee. Rel saluted, blade sheathed. Regent Queen. He strode forward, scanning Evan's toolkit with his wrist scanner. Vials logged. Seals verified. He handed a fresh purity plate to Athuhun. Chamberlain. You initiate. Touch the Untouchable's proxy. Athuhun's mandibles clicked fury, but Varaxia's gaze pinned him. He snatched the plate. Saeli pricked her claw, blood bead welled. She smeared it on. Evan added his sample next, under Rel's watch. Mixed. Orb ready. Rel activated. Scan hummed. Green ticked up, steady. Then spiked crimson. Shrieks exploded. Breach! The veil tears. Gallery erupted. Purists bolted for exits. Reformers shoved back. A stampede crushed toward the arches, claws slashing, tails whipping. Bodies piled at choke points. Evan grabbed Saeli's arm. Sabotage. He smelled it, acrid chemburn from the reagent tray. Someone spiked it mid-chain. Rel barked into comms. Lockdown. Secure the Regent! His guards formed a wedge around Varaxia's throne. Athuhun vanished in the crush, his robes aflash toward sublevels. Saeli's claws dug Evan's sleeve. They'll kill for this.
Varaxia stood amid chaos, her eyes locked on Evan through the melee.
Human. Your bridge or their pyre. Evan scanned the reagent tray. Tamper marks gleamed under his toolkit light. He pocketed a shard. Bridge. Rel shoved through to them. Evacuate Untouchable. Envoy with me. Alarms blared louder. Sublevel vents hissed smoke. Shadows boiled from side passages, purest blades glinting.
Evan pulled Saeli close. Her tail brushed his calf.
Trust. Fierce. Together. Rel led the charge down a service corridor. Boots echoed on polished stone. Saeli matched pace, robes hiked. Evan's toolkit scanned ahead. Motion pings spiked. Ambush! Rel growled. He drew blade, ignited its edge blue. 3 purists lunged from a grate. Claws raked air. Rel parried first, sliced the second's arm clean. Third swung at Saeli. Evan sidestepped, jammed his toolkit emitter. Stun pulse dropped the attacker twitching. Saeli stared. You improvised. Engineer habit. Evan yanked her on. Run! They burst into a subchamber. Consoles flickered. Purity lab. Reagent vats bubbled. Athuhun stood at a hollow terminal, claws flying over controls. You! Rel leveled blade. Athuhun spun. Stability demands purity.
Kimnash de vial rack.
Chemist sprayed. Acrid. Veil spiking agent. Evan coughed, eyes watering. Scans confirmed. Same sabotage chem. You rigged it. Why? Proof works? No. It shatters us. Othun's comms implant pulsed. Factions rise. Regent falls. Varaxia's voice crackled over palace-wide. Othun. Stand down. Too late. Purist reinforcements piled in. 6, blades humming. Rel met them head-on. Blade a blur. 1 down. 2. Saeli snatched a console rod, improvised staff. She cracked a skull, tail lashing another's legs. Evan dove for the terminal. Hacked in, human override code, jury rigged from envoy access. Vats locked. Mist vents sealed. Athuhun charged him. Profane! Evan rolled, tripped him with a toolkit grapple. Athuhun crashed into vats. Sparks flew. Rel finished the last purist. Pinned Athuhun. Varaxia entered with her elite. Gallery stampede quelled above. Feeds showed calm returning. She eyed the shard in Evan's hand. Rigged. By design. Chain of custody broke here. Your Chamberlain. Athuhun spat. For the veil. Varaxia's tail curled. Veil endures. Because of them. She nodded to Saeli and Evan. Untouchable, no more. Protocol evolves. Saeli's claws unflexed. She squeezed Evan's hand. Open, before court eyes. No orb flared. Gallery hollows broadcast it. But Evan spotted it. A purist runner slipping out, comms glowing. Athuhun's play deeper. Factions still stirred. Rel chained Athuhun.
Interrogation.
Varaxia turned to Evan. Your compassion weapon and bridge. What next?
Evan met Saeli's gaze.
Her scales flushed violet, rare for her kind.
Scans for all. No more fear. Shadows lingered in vents. The real fracture brewed below. Saeli leaned in, voice low. You saw the tamper first. Human eyes. He grinned. Her tail twined his ankle, promise amid peril. Varaxia signaled. Council reconvenes. Envoy, Princess, lead. They stepped forward. But Evan's scanner pinged. Sublevels hot, purist cells mobilized. The bridge howled. For now. Uthum's laugh echoed from chains.
You invite doom.
Evan gripped Sci-Fi tighter. Doom or dawn, they'd engineer the difference. Rel flanked them. Perimeter breach. Incoming. Blades clashed anew in the depths. The palace trembled. Evan drew his multi-tool, blade mode. Let's fix this, Sally's eyes gleamed. Together. They charged into the dark. Blades scraped stone. Evan lunged left, multi-tool sparking against a purist insurgent's vibro knife. The alien snarled, scales blacked with ritual ash. Sci-Fi flanked right, her ceremonial dagger flashing, precise trained strikes felling two more.
Service tunnels!
Evan barked. Rioters surged from sub-level vents. Chants of Veil Eternal, drowning the palace alarms. A thrown canister exploded nearby, acrid smoke stinging his eyes. Sci-Fi grabbed his arm. Her tail coiled tight around his leg, anchor in chaos. This way. He pivoted, shielding her body with his. A rioter's blade grazed his shoulder, drawing blood. Evan ignored the burn, slammed his multi-tool stun pulse into the attacker's chest. The alien crumpled. They bolted for the nearest grate. Evan wrenched it free, hinges screeching. In. Sci-Fi dove first, her lithe form vanishing into shadow. Evan followed, sealing the grate as fists pounded from outside. Muffled roars faded. Dim emergency strips glowed along the tunnel walls. Sci-Fi led, claws clicking on metal grates. Vault, wing, 2 levels down. Archive there. Evan checked his scanner. Red blips swarmed above. Rel's buying time. We get proof. And this. Her scales shimmered violet in the low light. Trust. Raw. She squeezed his hand. You shield me. No one ever has. People first. Always. He grinned through the pain. Tunnel forked ahead. She chose right, toward the vault's hum. Shouts echoed behind. Rioters breached the grate. Evan boosted speed, multi-tool lighting their path. They emerged in the vault wing antechamber. Massive doors loomed, etched with dynastic glyphs. Saley pressed her palm to the scanner. It whirred, irises dilating. Biometrics keyed to Untouchables only. She stepped through. Evan followed into cool archive arrows of crystal data spires humming with millennia of law. Her claws danced over a central console. Hollow screens flickered alive. Original decree.
Here. Evan scanned the projection.
Ancient text scrolled. Isolation protocols born not of faith, but votes. Factions bartering power. Quarantining royals to prevent impure heirs diluting bloodlines. Electoral. He whistled low. Not gods. Politicians. Sci-Fi's eyes widened. Alien awe at his quick parse. Tamper traces lead up. Uthum's clerks. His comm buzzed. Rel's voice clipped. Evan reagent sabotage pinned. Uthum supply clerks. Courier in chains. Paper trail to his office. Good work. Decrees fake roots. Electoral scam. Rel grunted. Baroxia's moving. Hold position. Tunnel shook. Footfalls thundered closer. Evan barred the inner door. Company.
Sci-Fi clutched the decree. Crystal. Fist size. Pulsing data.
We take it to her. Not yet. He eyed vents. Rioters wouldn't wait. His scanner pinged. Upper levels stabilizing. But here. Blips converged. Sci-Fi slotted the crystal into her bracer. Hollow copy secured. Regent Queen must see.
Evan nodded. Practical fix. Proof trumped prejudice.
Doors buckled. Purist blades pried seams. Back tunnel. He grabbed her wrist. They retreated deeper. Archive spires blurring past. Sci-Fi triggered a lockdown. Bulkheads slamming shut behind. Rel's rerouting security. But Uthum's block. Half the council.
Evan's mind raced. Engineer logic. Trace leverage. Dismantle.
Varaxia knows? Comms, say yes. Confronting now.
Static crackle.
Varaxia's voice cut through. Evan. Sci-Fi. Surface. Athuhun confesses Clark's. But he controls votes. Succession block. 30 seats. Evan shoved Sci-Fi into a side shaft. Electoral hook. Scandals politics. Not purity. Her tail brushed his calf. Gratitude. You see systems. We see ritual. Team up. Crawl space tight, but they squeezed through. Minutes later, they burst into the Grand Hall's service bay. Chaos reigned above. Gallery riots quelled, but tension simmered. Rel waited, armored, flanked by guards. This way. Regent Queen summons.
They ascended via lift. Doors parted to throne chamber.
Varaxia perched high, tail lashing. Othuhun chained below, flanked by clerks. Cowering, reagent vials confiscated.
You! Varaxia's gaze pinned Othuhun.
Sabotage for scandal. Reagent from your stores. Courier named you. Othuhun sneered, polite venom. Veil demands purity. Your bridge invites chaos. Evan stepped forward, Sayeli at his side. He slotted the decree crystal into the chamber hollow. Text bloomed, founding vote logs, factions trading untouchable isolation for block loyalty. Evan's voice steady. Not divine. Electoral. Your ancestors voted this to lock power. Othuhun twists it for votes now. Gallery gasped. Aliens leaned in. Scales rippling shock. Awe at the humans' unerring logic, seeing through veils no native dared pierce.
Varaxia's claws flexed. Scan the logs.
Block manifests. Your 30 seats, Chamberlain. Bought with fear. Othun's composure cracked. Tradition, leverage. You control succession votes. Sabotage forces my hand. Purge or yield. Rel's hand tightened on his blade. Perimeter secure. Cells broken. Ah, Sayeli spoke, voice clear. Untouchable ends, by original law. Evan stood tall, bloodied shoulder ignored. Human normal, fixed the break. Varaxia's eyes met his. Calculating. Then nodded. Council votes anew. Full integration. But Othuhun laughed, cold. Block, holds. Watch. Signal sent. Evan's scanner pinged. Outer gates breached. Not rioters, armed delegates, Othuhun's voters. Mobilizing. Varaxia signaled Rel. Secure them. Sayeli gripped Evan's hand. Open. Scales flushed deeper violet. Your compassion, unbreakable. Ours. Blades drew anew. Delegates stormed the antechamber. Votes turned to violence. Rel charged. Incoming. Evan activated multi-tool. Palace bridge teetered. Electoral war ignited. Sayeli's eyes gleamed. Engineer it. They dove in. Varaxia's scepter slammed stone. High houses convene, binding vote on Sayeli's status. Now! Evan gripped his multi-tool tighter. Shoulder wound burned under hasty bandage. The grand hall thrummed. Alien delegates shifted in tiered galleries, scales whispering friction. Air thick with incense and tension. Sayeli stood inches from him. Her hand brushed his. Forbidden touch. Scales on her arm flushed faint lavender. Trust signal only he read now. Othum rose from his block. Voice silk over venom.
Regent Queen, tradition bars this.
Untouchable isolation binds our purity. One vote fractures all. Murmurs swelled. Claws scraped benches. Varaxia's eyes narrowed. Multifaceted pupils scanned faces. Purity or your 30 seats? Chamberlain? Logs prove it. Electoral chains, not divine law. Evan scanned the room. His implant fed data. Faction tallies flickered. Othun's block held sway, barely. Human logic pierced their veils. Aliens leaned forward. Scales rippled in waves of shock. A low hiss escaped one delegate. Awe at the unveiled machinery. Rel positioned guards at archways, blade half drawn. His gaze flicked to Evan, nod of respect. Procedure bent under human insight. Sayeli's voice cut clear. Original decree, isolation until proven safe. Proof stands. She lifted their joined hands. Court gasped. Varaxia flexed claws. Votes. Aye for integration. Nay preserves fear. Delegates called. Eyes mounted. Othun's block countered.
Stalemate?
Evan stepped forward.
Hall silenced. Human envoy. Bloodied tunic, no scales or claws.
Underestimated. Regent Queen.
High houses. I offer human oath. All eyes locked. Varaxia tilted head. Speak.
He faced Sayeli.
Met her gaze. Princess, I stake my career, envoy status, alliance, ties, on your compliance. Post-vote, you honor every custom. No breach. Human way. Words and witness bind tighter than law. Her scales deepened violet. Breath hitched. Evan knelt. Took her hand, pressed lips to knuckles. Gentle, deliberate. Court inhaled sharp. Taboo shattered casual. Silence crushed. Then Sayeli moved. Broke protocol, pulled him up. Claws grazed his jaw. Precise, no tear. Lips met his. Full. Open. Consent burned, visible. Her taste, spice and salt. Scales against skin hummed warmth. Hull exploded. Gasps turned roars. Scales flashed crimson, outrage, azure shock. Delegates lurched. Varaxia froze, claws embedded in throne. Rel's blade whipped free. Witnessed. Evan held her. Heart hammered. Human normal. Love declared fixes rifts. Aliens reeled. One delegate whispered, she returns it. Awe rippled. Human compassion. Unyielding fire. Othuhun surged. Pollution. Seize the untouchable. Evidence for purity court. He signaled clerk. Hidden calm pulsed. Rel barked. Hold positions. Guards clashed blades. But antechamber doors burst. Armed delegates poured in. Othuhuns blocked voters, not rioters. Coup enforcers. Blasters hummed. For tradition. Varaxia rose. Treachery. She triggered throne alarm. Palace shields flickered active. Evan yanked Saeli behind pillar. Multi-tool word. Scanned breach. Structural weak point. Bridge span ahead. Load-bearing spar compromised. Palace spanned chasm. Grand bridge linked hull to towers. Saeli drew slim blade. Eyes gleamed. Engineer it. Rel charged intruders. His squad carved path.
Disciplined strikes felled 3, but numbers swelled.
Blaster bolts scorched walls. Evan sprinted. Shoulders screened. Reached bridge edge. Tool extruded welder. Sparks flew. He fused spar joints. Reinforce, not destroy. Evacuate high houses across bridge. It'll hold double load, she signaled. Delegates streamed. Claws scrabbled stone. Othuhun's forces pressed. Cut them off, Saeli flanked Evan. Blade danced. Slashed a delegate's weapon arm. Grace, lethal. Alien skill. Precision beyond human. Your oath holds me. He nodded. Tool shifted. EMP pulse primed. Rel, funnel them here. Captain pivoted. Drove foes onto bridge. On me, his bellow rallied guards. They herded 20-block warrior central span. Evan triggered pulse. Blue flash. Blasters died. Comms silenced. Warriors staggered. Scales dimmed from overload. Othuhun bellowed from gallery. Regent Queen yields to mammal filth. He lunged at Varaxia.
Chamberlain blade gleamed. She parried.
Claws raked his arm. Blood sprayed. Iridescent. Your seats end here. Delegates crossed. Eyes blocked cheered. Votes tallied mid-chaos. Integration passed. 62-30. Saeli pressed Evans back. They see. Consent. Us. Rel squad cuffed warriors. Bridge groaned. Held. Evans' weld glowed steady. But Othun twisted free. Grabbed podium calm. All blocks. Purity rising. Storm the towers. Evans' scanner pinged. Outer gates. More forces massed. Not ended. Escalated. Varaxia pinned Othuhun. Claws at throat. Choose, Chamberlain. Yield or purge. He laughed cold. Block unbreakable. Watch your bridges fall. A tremor shook stone. Explosives? Below chasm. Saeli gripped Evan. Your fix, next? He scanned. Charges under span. We drop isolated segment. Trap them. Rel nodded. Human traps voids. Execute. They moved. Tool cut precise. Sayari guarded flank. Romance forged in fire. Trust absolute. Delegates rallied. Varaxia declared. Saeli integrated. Full rights. Cheers drowned blasts. But tower shadows stirred. Othuhun's reserves climbed scaffolds. Coup clawed deeper.
Evan welded final brace.
On my mark. Explosion rocked base. Bridge buckled partial. Warriors plunged screaming into chasm. Trap sprung. Othum howled. Monsters. Varaxia faced him. Calculating. Tradition cracked. Stability demanded change. Cells for you. All. Rel dragged him. But Evan's implant buzzed. Incoming transmission. Block allies outside. Fleet inbound. Not palace. Orbital. Saeli's scales paled. Succession war.
Engineer that too.
Blades clashed anew. Palace held, but skies darkened. Rel slammed the inner gates shut. Blaster fire scorched the barriers. Decoy squads, flank left, draw them to the east scaffolds. His voice boomed over comms. Evan crouched behind a console, scanner in hand. Saili pressed against his side, her scales warm through his suit.
Warriors howled beyond the gates. Othun's militia, purity fanatics loyal to the Chamberlain's block.
Rel, outer feeds show 300 massing. Your split will thin them. Hold the bridge breach. Affirmative, human. Your trap worked. They plunged. Now we starve the head. Rel fired a suppression round. Militia scattered under the barrage. Saeli's claws gripped Evan's arm. Othun's fraud decree he broadcast? Forged. I saw original in archives. Her voice hissed low, precise, despite the chaos. Evan nodded. Practical fix. Public channel. Broadcast truth.
Expose him.
He pulled up the palace net on his wrist console. Saeli fed him the code. Ancient royal seal. Her fingers brushed his. Steady. Trust absolute. Blades clanged nearby. Delegates rallied behind Varaxia. The regent queen stood tall, claws extended. Othum thrashed in her grip, cuffed by Rel's squad. Yield, Chamberlain, she snarled.
He spat. Block rises.
Purity eternal. Your bridges fall. Evan hit transmit. The original decree blasted across every public holoscreen in the palace and beyond. Varaxia's voice filled the air, unaltered. No block overrides royal words. Timestamp matched. Othun's version, altered. Fraud exposed. Gasps rippled through the court. Militia at the gates faltered. One dropped his blade, staring at his own screen. Rel seized the moment. Purity fraud. Stand down. His forces surged. Decoy squads lured half the attackers east, into open kill zones. Inner gates held. Evan pulled Saeli closer. They see it. Your mother's seal. Undeniable. Us. They witness. Varaxia dragged Othum to the central podium. Tower shadows loomed, but cheers drowned the distant blasts. Chamberlain Othun, she declared, voice amplified. You forged my decree. Incited blocks against succession. Purity twisted to treason. Claws raked his robes. Office forfeit. Chalzawait. Othum laughed, cold. Orbital. Blocks unite. Silence. Varaxia turned to the court. Delegates hushed. Evan felt Saeli tense beside him. The regent queen's gaze swept the hall, landing on them. Calculating. Tradition cracked under siege. Stability demanded rewrite. Untouchable law ends, Varaxia said. No more isolation by fear. Consent charter. Bonds formed by choice. Royal or common. Human or Vexari. Holoscreens updated live. New edict scrolling. Princess Saeli, step forward. Saeli squeezed Evan's hand. Released it. Walked the aisle unbarred. No ceremonial distance. No flinching guards. Court scales rippled. Shock, then murmurs of awe. An untouchable princess, scales unshadowed, strode free. Evan followed, tool belt clinking. Practical diplomat. People were people. Taboos just bad engineering. Varaxia extended a claw. Daughter, accept official liaison bond. Human envoy, hail. Witnessed protector. Bridge builder.
Saeli bowed.
Touched her mother's claw. Accept. Bond with Evan, hail. Consent given. Public. Cheers erupted. Rel's squads hauled Othun away. Militia surrendered at the gates. Decoy traps sprung. Forces split and crushed. Evan scanned the skies through a viewport. Orbital pings multiplied. Block fleet. Succession war loomed. But palace held. Saeli turned to him. Slipped her hand into his. Walked the court without barriers. Delegates parted. Whispers followed. Human touch.
Untouchable yields. Awe in alien eyes.
Captain Rel approached. Saluted. Gates secure, envoy. Your scans called the traps. Human voids. Effective.
Evan shrugged. Just physics.
Team effort.
He glanced at Saeli. Her scales flushed brighter.
Romance in the grip, forged in fire, sealed in law. Varaxia signaled them to the throne dais. Fleet masses, blocks demand purge. But court unites now? Hail. Your engineering? Evan pulled his scanner. Orbital intercepts. Palace defenses have gaps. We patch. Saeli nodded, guarding his flank as always. A tremor shook the towers. Not explosives, docking clamps. Block shuttles inbound. Rel barked orders.
Perimeter up. Saeli pressed Evan's back. Together.
He welded a brace on the console. Steady glow. Always. Court eyes watched. Human normalcy awed them. Princess unbound. Rulebook rewritten live. But skies darkened further. Fleet signatures locked on. War clawed from above. Evan's implant buzzed. Incoming hail from his own ship. Human backup or trap? Siley's claws tightened. What now? He grinned. Practical. Engineer it. Blaster fire echoed from the outer docks. Invasion breached. Palace Bridge held, but orbitals rained troops. Viraxia rallied delegates. Defend succession. Rel flanked their dropships here. Collaboration. Human fixes. Vexari claws. Rel executed. Forces split again. Decoy fire drew borders into chasm vents. Warriors plunged screaming. Saili broadcast anew. Consent charter live. Blocks fracture. Join or fall. Hollow screens galaxy-wide lit. Fraud exposed. Alien awe swelled. Human hand and princess grip rewrote stars. Yet lead shuttle punched through.
Athuan's reserves? No. Block Admiral. Scales scarred.
Purity purges all. Viraxia faced him across the bridge. Choose. Yield or void. Blades met claws. Evan shielded Saeli, tool-firing arc-weld blasts. Practical weapon. She fought beside him. Scales meshed with his suit. Trust absolute. Admiral fell. Bridge groaned. Held. Court cheered. Orbital fleet wavered. Signals fracturing. Public decree spread. Blocks broke. Viraxia clasped Saeli's shoulders. No distance. Integrated. Full rights. Princess walked free. Evan at side. Court bowed. Human underestimated no more, but Evan's scanner pinged final. Deeper signal. Core block holdout. Buried charge under palace heart. Saeli paled. Your fix? He nodded. Last one. They descended. Fire forged bond led. Palace saved. Love bridged prejudice. But shadows stirred below.